There are 5 types of content subjects or types of questions that move the needle with consumers more than anything else. Ultimately, these bring the greatest amount of traffic, leads, conversions, and sales. Here to break down those 5 content subjects is one of our amazing trainers, Lindsey. How's it going, Lindsey?
Pretty good, Austin. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is always good to have you here. Love speaking with you and getting your knowledge. And personally, I am dying to know, what are these 5 subjects that will help me grow my business?
Yeah. So 5 topics that if you create content around them will help you generate leads, traffic, and grow your sales are cost. So talking about how much your product, your service costs so that people can understand transparently and clearly what's the financial impact it would have on them. Comparisons. So comparing solutions, comparing services, comparing products, anything with versus in the title, that's going to be a great topic to cover. Problems. And I'm not talking about problems that your competitors have or problems that you don't solve. I'm talking about problems that could occur with your own solution, problems that your solution helps solve, anything that's relevant around problems or what could go wrong. That's a piece of content you can write about. And then another one I would recommend that's part of the big 5 is best of lists. How can we make a list of the best insurance brokerages near me, or the best of something that when someone searches at X near me or something like that, or they're looking for to qualify, how do I know this is the best? You come up for that. And then reviews and honest reviews of things that you sell, honest reviews of services. I've seen a company once even take reviews that people posted online, almost like a reading bad tweets, and they read their bad reviews on the video and talked through what happened in this review in this scenario. That was a great original take on reviews content. But those are the 5 topics that if someone came to me and they're like, Lindsey, I want to start writing about and making videos on topics that drive more meaningful interactions from my customer base or for people who follow me, what should I create content on? Those would be the 5 topics I tell them to start with every single time.
Cool. Yeah, those are all great. There were a couple though that kind of caught me off guard, and I think that would be cost and problems. Just as something that may not really be something I want to talk about, problems that could happen with my area, or, how much things cost, because every situation is different. How do you address those?
Yeah. So let's deal with cost first, and then we can talk about how to address problems. The biggest pushback I hear for cost is whenever I tell people, oh, you should write about cost, or you should make a video about cost. It's like, oh, we don't want people to know how much we charge, because they're going to get away, they're going to get sticker shock, or we don't want our competitors to find out how much they charge or how much we charge. Newsflash, your competitors already know how much you charge, because I guarantee that they have talked to customers who've gotten quotes from you in the past, or they have had someone who did was part of your service and then moved on from another service or moved over to them. So it's likely your competitors know how much you cost. So I would not even consider that a factor in this. It's silly to think that they don't have that information already. But then to address the sticker shock problem, though someone might get turned off by how much we cost. If you explain the factors that go into the cost of something, let's say I'm going to use my favorite example, Austin. This is my favorite example from talking to me, CrossFit gym, right? CrossFit gyms are a premium service. It's a membership, and it's likely a really expensive gym membership, but it drives me nuts. I can't see the price of how much this membership is going to set me back month over month. If you had a piece of content that explained the factors that go into membership pricing for a gym, let's say you talk about, space for rent, paying your coaches, upgrading equipment, that makes it much more justifiable to someone to say, okay, I can spend $200 a month on this membership because I know what it's going towards. And I'm not doing myself a disservice by not having my pricing on my website and hurting myself in Google's eyes and in my customers' eyes because I just have a pricing page that then says to someone, oh, contact us for this pricing. I bet you I'd be willing to bet a lot of money if I was a betting woman that is the page that has your highest bounce rates or one of your highest bounce rates on your website. Austin, you could tell this cost gets me fired up. But if you're struggling to say like, okay, we can't definitively say this cost X or this service costs X, that's okay. Talk about the factors that influence cost so that if someone is reading this article or watching this video, their takeaway can be, okay, I know this could cost me between this and this because of the factors outlined here. And that's really all it takes. And if you are wondering, how is that going to like go over with my audience? It's going to go over great because they're going to trust you more for being the one to say, all right, these people are really transparent about their costs. It's more likely that I'm going to work with them even if they aren't the cheapest price. Problems though. Problems is the same thing. People are always going they're going to look at a solution, and if they think something is too good to be true, they're going to Google problems with X, problems with this, problems with that. And so you have to ask yourself as a content creator and business owner, do I want a prospect, a very well qualified prospect who would be a great fit for my business? Do I want them learning about the problems that come along with this product or service from me or from someone else? You want them learning about it from you. Mm-hmm. And if you're willing to say, this could be a problem with using this type of service or using our service, then that person is more likely to say, oh, I trust you. Like if you're a construction company and let's say you do bathroom remodeling and you know that someone is going to there could be problems with the bathroom remodeling project. Let's say something happens where, the specific tile you want for your beautiful tile shower is backordered. Well, that's going to cause a delay in the timeline of your service. But that's a problem that you should call out and address how you handle that. So someone reading that's like, oh yeah, this would be a great service for me to use for my bathroom remodeling project.
That makes sense. And if I'm looking at two options online and comparing websites, and one is willing to talk about those problems and how to fix it, and one just kind of hides them under the rug, like you said, I'm going to trust the one who's willing to talk about it because I know they're looking out for my best interests, not their own.
Mm-hmm. Consumers aren't dumb. They know when something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Wow. And so we have the big five. Does that mean I only need to create 5 pieces of content, or is there a lot of different content I can get from kind of these 5 areas?
Yeah, so that's a great question. There's a ton of content you can generate from these areas. This isn't just one and done for each of these. If you have 3 or 4 products or services, you can start with writing a big 5 piece or making a video for each big 5 piece of content as it relates to that product or service. And then if you're using costs, let's continue using cost as an example. You could write an article that's what does it cost? You could then write an article that's the hidden costs, or then you could write an article that talks about the long-term costs. So if it's a solution that's yearly based, let's say you get a new HVAC unit installed. Well, what's the cost year over year of having this new HVAC system in your house compared with your old one? There's a lot of different topics you can cover, a lot of different subgenres of the topic you can cover within the broader topic. You just have to be able to be willing to go there as a team and say, all right, if we dig really deep, what are all of the things that we could write as it relates to cost for this one subject? And you'd be surprised how many pieces I think that you could write from that.
Wow, that's awesome. 5 subjects to give you everything you need to create. That's super cool. So if I'm looking into using the big 5, is there one of those 5 things I should start with, or does it matter which order you hit them in?
Yeah. Generally speaking, the one that's going to have an impact the fastest is a cost article or cost video. So making content specific around costs, that's likely going to get you the most traction right away. If you are a local business, I would recommend jumping on Best Of as well. because people will search near me, and you want the best to populate when someone searches that. So cost in general, everyone should start with cost. But then especially if you're a local business, tackling that best of would be extremely helpful.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for breaking this down for us, Lindsey, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Austin. These are always fun.
And that's the big 5, folks. The 5 things that your buyers want to know and will need to know if they're going to buy from you. Do you need help with your marketing and sales strategy? Contact us at impactplus.com today to start working with a trainer just like Lindsey.